Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring your favorite fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You're all the reasons why this keeps going. Join the Legion today at patreon.com/63rdlegion for free and help decide next week's new character. Joining my paid tiers allows you early access to my content, a shout out in my videos, homebrew D&D items for your games, and a chance to play some D&D in the Patreon community. Time to return to Fullmetal Alchemist for the Dark Killer, Scar. Scar was once a simple man born into a religion of Ishbal. Sadly, his people were persecuted by the rulers of the government, eventually leading to a massacre. It was in this horrible event that Scar was transformed into the killer he would become. Yeah, I'm doing the footnote version because I only watched the original series, never watched Brotherhood or read the manga, so I don't fully know all the details. Scar's right arm contains the power of alchemy. Well, half the power. With his touch, Scar can break down the cellular bonds of whatever he is touching, and this includes people. Once activated, the object or person is destroyed as explosive energy rips it apart. He can also channel this destructive power through solid matter, creating a wave of the explosive and dangerous energy. Eventually, Scar is given the power to complete the alchemic energy, meaning he can not only break down matter, but reform it as well. Even without using his deadly touch, Scar is fully capable of defeating multiple enemies in simple hand-to-hand combat. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook. We'll also be grabbing some spells from Xanathar's Guide to Everything and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, but they don't really matter, so don't worry about grabbing them if you can. We're using standard point array to keep things simple, and we are not multi-classing, so this is going to be easy. Make Intelligence 15, Strength 14, Dex 13, Con 12, Wisdom 10, and we're going to be dumping Charisma with an 8 because it's not important for this build, and you're no longer a people person. Scar is a human, resourceful, grants you an inspiration dice at the end of a long rest if you don't already have one. Skillful lets you grab a free skill, take stealth. Versatile gives you a free origin feat. For this feat, Magic Initiate lets you give yourself some spells. First you choose a spell list from Cleric, Druid, or Wizard, and then you choose a spellcasting modifier from Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma. Once you choose a list, you pick 2 cantrips and 1 first level spell of your choice. And you can cast the first level spell without a spell slot once per long rest. For this, head over to Cleric's spell list and choose Intelligence as your modifier. For the spells, Mending lets you restore a break or tear in a non-magical object touch. A little early for this, but not gonna ruin anything. Guidance lets you give yourself 1d4 on a chosen skill check for 1 minute while you maintain this spell. Inflict Wounds gives you a death touch. You touch one creature and force a con save, dealing 2d10 necrotic damage on a failure, and you can upcast this for more damage. To finish out your lineage, you know the language Common and 2 more of your choice. For background, place +2 into Strength and +1 into Intelligence. For your origin feat, Tough gives you double your current character level in HP and then gives you +2 HP to each level after. For skills, take History and Religion. To finish out your background, take whatever tool proficiency you wish. Level 1 fighters start things off with 2 skills. Grab Athletics and Acrobatics. You're proficient in all weapons, shields, armor, and the saving throw, Strength and Con. Fighting Style gives you a Fighting Style feat. For this feat, Unarmed Fighting makes your unarmed strikes 1d6 when holding an item, 1d8 when holding nothing, and you can automatically deal 1d4 bludgeoning damage to a creature you're grappling at the start of your turn. Second Wind lets you shrug off damage by healing yourself with a bonus action by 1d10 plus your fighter level. You can do this twice per long rest, but regain 1 use after a short rest. Weapon Mastery improves your weapon skills, but you don't use weapons. At the end of a long rest, you choose 3 weapons you are proficient with, and now when you use them, you can use their special Weapon Mastery properties. But as I said, you don't use weapons, so we're not going to talk about anything here. Level 2 fighters gain Action Surge. You can give yourself a free action once per short or long rest, but you can't cast spells with this. Tactical Mind lets you use Second Wind when you fail a skill check, adding the d10 to your check, and if you still fail, you don't burn the use of Second Wind. Level 3 fighters now have access to their subclass. Eldritch Knight from the player's handbook is going to give you some destructive power. Spellcasting makes you a quartercaster. Intelligence is your spellcasting modifier. You pull spells from the wizard spell list, you regain spell slots at the end of a long rest, and you're starting off with 2 cantrips and 3 first level spells. War Bond lets you magically summon a weapon you are bonded with using your bonus action. You can bond with a weapon after spending a short rest with it in reach, and you can bond up to 2 weapons at a time but can only summon 1 weapon with a bonus action. For your spells, Chill Touch gives you another Death Touch. Making a melee spell attack, you deal 1d10 necrotic damage, and now they cannot regain HP until the end of your next turn. Thunderclap lets you send a wave of energy out into the ground, forcing a con save on everyone within 5 feet of you, dealing 1d8 thunder damage on a failure. Thunder Wave lets you send out a wave of energy in front of you, forming a 15-foot cube and forcing a con save on everyone within, dealing 2d8 thunder damage on a failure and pushing them back by 15 feet. Mage Armor enhances your reflexes by making your AC 13 plus your Dex modifier for 8 hours when not wearing armor. False Life lets you gather energy within yourself and give yourself 2d4 plus 4 temp HP, and you can upcast this to make it stronger. Level 4 fighters earn our first ability score improvement, Start Raising Strength for more attack and damage. You now have 3 uses of Second Wind and up to 4 weapon masteries. For your new spell, Jump sends you flying into the air, giving you a 30-foot jump distance for 1 minute when you sacrifice 10 feet of your movement. Level 5 fighters unlock extra attack. You can now attack twice with a single attack action. Tactical Shift allows you to move up to half your speed when you use Second Wind, and this movement doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity. Your character level 5 bring your proficiency bonus to +3. Thunderclap and Chill Touch now deal 2 damage dice each. Level 6 fighters earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Strength. Level 7 Eldritch Knight fighters learn War Magic. Now when you attack, you can replace one of your attacks with a wizard cantrip with a casting time of 1 action. You now have 2nd level spells. For your new spell, Shatter sends out a wave of destructive energy, causing a spot within 60 feet to explode into a 10-foot radius sphere, forcing a con save on everyone within it. If they fail, they take 3d8 thunder damage. Level 8 fighters earn another ability score improvement, Start Raising Intelligence for better spell attack and DC. For your new spell, Enhance Ability lets you choose 1 stat, and for the next hour while you maintain the spell, all skills connected to that stat are at advantage on the D20 tests. Level 9 fighters receive Indomitable. You can re-roll 1 failed saving throw per long rest. Tactical Master lets you change the weapon mastery properties to weapons you've chosen. Even though you don't use weapons, you can, so we're going to talk about it here. For what you can change these to, Push pushes it back a creature you've hit with this weapon by 10 feet. Slow reduces the speed of a creature you've hit with this weapon by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. Sap gives a creature hit by this weapon disadvantage on their attack before the start of your next turn. You've reached character level 9, raise your proficiency bonus by +4. Level 10 Eldritch Knight fighters get Eldritch Strike. This will not really work for you, so that sucks, but when you hit with a weapon, the creature has disadvantage on their next saving throw you force them to take before the end of your next turn. Let's be honest, you're going to be using a weapon. For your new spells, Toll the Dead sends a wave of destructive energy out to 60 feet and forces a wisdom save, dealing 2d8 necrotic damage on a failure or 2d12 necrotic damage on a failure if they are below full health. Blur lets you move with such speed, all attacks against you are at disadvantage for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. Creatures that have Blindside or True Sight ignore this. Level 11 fighters gain another extra attack, bringing your total number of attacks to 3 per attack action. For your new spell, Arcane Vigor lets you focus and heal yourself by using up to 2 hit dice you have available and adding your intelligence modifier. Your character level 11, Thunderclap, Toll the Dead, and Chill Touch now deal 3 damage dice each. Level 12 fighters earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Intelligence. Level 13 fighters now have 2 uses of Indomitable. Studied Attack helps you when you whiff on an attack. Now when you miss with an attack, you have advantage on the next attack against the same creature you missed before the end of your next turn. You now have 3rd level spells. For your new spell, Vampiric Touch is going to be your final Death Touch. Now for up to 1 minute while you maintain the spell, you can make a melee spell attack that deals 3d6 necrotic damage, and then you will heal half the damage you dealt. You've hit character level 13, bring your proficiency bonus up to +5. Level 14 fighters earn another ability score improvement. Let's grab a feat. Mage Slayer from the player's handbook will help with some state alchemists in your way if they don't have plot armor. First, this adds +1 to your dex, and now when you damage a creature that is maintaining a spell, they have disadvantage on the con save to maintain it. Also now, if you fail a charisma, intelligence, or wisdom save, you can instead choose to succeed it. You can do this once per short or long rest. For your new spell, Erupting Earth from Xanathar's really lets loose your power. Choosing a point within 120 feet of you, you send out a destructive wave, exploding into a 20-foot cube. Each creature within the cube must make a dex save as the ground explodes, taking 3d12 bludgeoning damage on a failure and turning the ground within the cube difficult terrain. Level 15 Eldritch Knight fighters learn Arcane Charge. Now, when you action surge, you can animate moves so fast no one can see you. You teleport. Tell me that doesn't make sense how I described it. You teleport 30 feet to a space you can see before or after the free action. Level 16 fighters earn another ability score improvement. Bump up dex once more for a better AC. For your new spell, Spirit Shroud from Tasha's lets you just really start hurting people. For 1 minute while you maintain the spell, all your attacks deal an extra 1d8 necrotic damage or another damage type from Radiant or Cold if you want, and creatures damaged this way can't regain HP until the start of your next turn. Also, you are now so scary, you can choose any creature within 10 feet of you on your turn and have their speed reduced to 10 feet until the start of your next turn. Level 17 fighters now have 2 uses of Action Surge and 3 uses of Indomitable. You're at the final milestone, character level 17, max out your proficiency bonus at +6. Thunderclap, Toll the Dead, and Chill Touch now deal 4 damage dice each. Level 18 Eldritch Knight fighters unlock Improved War Magic. Now when you take the attack action, you can replace one of your attacks with a wizard spell of 1st or 2nd level that has a casting time of 1 action. Remember, Inflict Wounds is not a wizard spell. Level 19 fighters earn an epic boon. For your boon, Boon of Speed adds +1 to your dex and then increases your speed by 30 feet. Also now Disengage is a bonus action, and this can end the grapple condition on you. You also now have 4th level spells. For your new spell, Stone Shape will grant you the rest of your alchemaic abilities. You can now touch an object made of stone that is no more than 5 feet in any dimension and shape it however you want, and this includes forming doorways and walls or creating weapons. Our final level is level 20 fighter, and you receive 3 extra attacks, bringing your grand total of attacks to 4 per attack action. For your final spell, Fabricate lets you convert raw material within 120 feet of you into whatever you want it to be if it can fit into a 10-foot cube. These raw materials can be stone, metal, wood, or any other material, and just like with Stone Shape, you can form them into whatever you want them to be. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 20, Dex 17, Con 12, Intelligence 20, Wisdom 10, Charisma 8. Let's dive in. Whatever you touch, you destroy. Chill Touch deals 4d10 necrotic damage, Inflict Wounds can deal 5d10 necrotic damage, and Vampiric Touch can deal 4d6 necrotic damage and then heal you. Of course, you don't need to do a Death Touch to destroy it. You can also send out a wave of force out to 120 feet or just all around you. You can also punch up to 4 times normal, 8 times with an action surge, replace one of those attacks with Death Touches. Oh yeah, you can deal 1d8 necrotic damage to all your attacks. Eventually, you can also create things things such as weapons, doorways, and anything else, and of course repair them. Finally, you are a problem to deal with. You can re-roll failed saves up to 3 times, you can automatically pass saving throws from spellcasters, disrupt spellcasters, your total speed is 60 feet, your AC is 16, attacks against you are at disadvantage, and your total health taking the average is over 180 HP. Downside. Firstly, your charisma is terrible. Your saves are okay with rerolls and whatnot, but you have the personality of toast. With what you've been through and the new path you've chosen, I get it. Range is very limited, but you can grab a ranged weapon, which more than likely you will. Finally, you got resource management with 11 spell slots. Only one of those can be used for your 2 most powerful spells, but they're not combat spells, so who cares? Time to bring the light of truth and righteous vengeance to those who've destroyed your life. I'd like to give a special shout out to my Artificer tier. Thank you, Christopher R. Hunter, Java Squirrel, Daniel Saffler, and Adam. You guys rock. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. And make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.